Hey there, I'm Lindsay Lyman. After 12 years at Amazon, I learned a really powerful truth. Success doesn't wait for the perfect moment. Are you telling yourself things will get better when? When the project ends? When you have a different boss? When the economy improves? The when trap keeps talented professionals stuck for years. On this podcast, we're done waiting. I'll show you how to stop postponing your success and get the salary and title you deserve now, without working crazy hours or sacrificing your sanity. If you're ready to transform your career without starting over, you're in the right place. Hey y'all. All right, so we all fall into that waiting for when things will get better or when the time is right. We all fall for this when trap. And remember, like we talked about in last episode, your brain is actually optimized to do this because changing things up, doing it when it feels uncertain or risky feels dangerous. So of course your brain is like, no, not today. This is not the right time. Let's not do this. And yet at the same time, we logically know there's never really a good time. There's never really a right time. There's always something. But if we just keep waiting for when, it's going to impact our career financially. It's going to impact us emotionally. So today I want to talk about what do you do when you're stuck in this when trap to get yourself to start taking some steps. Now we want to be smart about this, but we want to keep moving forward. We're not going to do anything crazy and irrational, but our logical brain knows there's never a good time, but our emotional self often feels very stuck and trapped because it really doesn't feel good and safe. So I've created a framework that I'm going to start teaching really in depth. For those of you that are my clients, get excited. There's some new great course material coming around this, but I want to talk about it at a high level today. So knowing the when trap is a pretty common thing I see in trying to navigate your career. This framework, it's an acronym and it's called the Today Method, okay? And it's meant to help you start and keep taking action to where you want to go. So let's dive into it. The T stands for tune into your thoughts and feelings. What is it that you really want and what story do you have about it today? So you got to tune in to what are you thinking and feeling? What is actually going on today? Let's say, for example, you've tuned in and you know you want to have a better work-life balance. You want to be more present at home. You want to have time to do hobbies and fun things with people and not always feel like you have to keep a part of your brain tied into work and keep just checking your email to make sure there's no fire drills or anything, okay? So we want to tune in and know that's what we want. We also want to tune in and know what are we telling ourselves about why we don't have it. The story you might be telling yourself right now and that you feel and believe, your nervous system believes, your brain believes is things are busy right now, but it'll get better once that big project at work launches. Things will calm down, you'll have less meetings, you'll go back to like your normal schedule. But as we're tuning in to what we think and feel and what we believe, the story you also know that sometimes you're not always telling yourself is back to normal wasn't working either. There's always another big goal that you're going to need to focus on next. Maybe you know kind of subconsciously you're most likely to reorg again this year. And that's going to cause a lot of extra work figuring things out, navigating that, building relationship, and kind of losing some time being productive while you go through it. Step number 1 to stop waiting for when is you want to tune in to your thoughts and your feelings and the story you have about it, okay? Remember, this is the Today Method. So T stands for tune in. The O stands for open to what is. This is where you've got to be willing to accept the truth of what is. What you resist will persist. And we tend to make it worse by trying to stress it away. Now we're just adding more stress onto the stress we're already feeling. We're not giving up. I'm not saying be open and just give up and become the victim. If you feel like you're the victim and you're totally given up, that is resisting what is happening now because you have judgment that it should be different. When we're fully open to it, we don't should on any of it. It shouldn't be different because it's not, but we want it to be different. So thinking of how it should be different is you resisting and staying stuck as the victim. Wanting something different is so much more empowering. It's more of the like, watch me, I can figure this out mentality. If you're not able to be open to what is, it will fester in you until you're able to learn and accept what is. Psychologists refer to this as like radical acceptance. So let's go back to our example. If you're wanting to have better work-life balance, but you know things are going to be rough until that thing launches, but it's also not great when it goes back to normal, being open to this means that you're acknowledging and being open to this isn't working. You don't want it to be this way. There are more things that need to get done than time, and it's a lot. Of course, you're feeling stressed and burned out, right? We don't have judgment about it. We're just open to what is true, what is really going on right now. The D in the today method stands for digest your emotions fully. Okay. So first we're going to tune in. Second, we're going to be open to what is. And then we're going to digest and feel and process and let all those emotions be there. And we're going to deal with them in a way that we don't just keep carrying them around and they get heavier and heavier and heavier. We want to process it. We want to relax into it. We want to breathe. We want to get really good at feeling it physically. I think of this like you want to be aware of all of your senses and what is this like heaviness, this burnout, this stress, this anxiety, this overwhelm. What does it actually feel like? Okay, so if you're wanting work-life balance and you're feeling really stressed and burned out from where things are at right now, what does this stress and burnout from working all the time and not being able to turn off your brain daily feel like? Physically describe it. Look at your 5 senses. Where in your body do you hold it? Take some deep breaths and go find it. Most of us hold it in our shoulders, in our neck. They get really tight, in our jaw, in our face. You might get headaches. You might feel foggy. For me, when I'm in this like high stress situation, I don't really notice smells very much. That sense is not very attuned for me. But I'm very aware of the tightness in my body. It's almost like there's a heavy weight sitting on my chest when I feel this stress. It's not moving, it's not vibrating, it's not growing, it's not getting heavier. It just kind of like sits there. I try to get moments of relief when I'm feeling this heavy stress by eating junk food because it gives me moments of dopamine, but then I get a stomach ache. So now I'm stressed and I have a stomach ache. For me, when I'm in this moment, and I'm digesting these emotions fully, I just think of it as like my upper body is just like hunched and rounded over and like closing in on itself and tight and just feels terrible. I also notice my body temperature tends to get really hot or really cold. My body struggles to kind of regulate itself at a normal temperature when I'm really stressed like this. So this is what digesting it fully looks like. It's feeling it and allowing these emotions. So for the today method, we're going to tune in, we're going to open to it, we're going to digest it. The A stands for adopt a new perspective. Okay, so we're fully aware of what it is, we're open to it, we're feeling it, we're letting it be there, we're not resisting it. Now we want to adopt some new perspectives. What other things are true? What other stories could you believe? What other things could you focus on? This is where you got to know, how do you talk to yourself? And you got to choose to think on purpose. This is one of our superpowers as a human, but we don't do it. We just go on autopilot, soaking in all these crazy things and scary things that the world is telling us that drives our attention and gets us to click and gets us to freak out. You got to go and talk to yourself and do it on purpose, which might mean you need to shut out some of that you're consuming to make it easier to talk to yourself. But when you talk to yourself, we're not judging, we're not playing the victim, we're feeling all the stress, and we're going to talk to ourselves and say things like, I don't know what to do yet. I know there are options out there, I just haven't figured it out yet. I can figure one thing out. I can try one thing today. Or it's talking to yourself saying, I want to figure this out. This is so important because it's going to impact how you feel. Our goal is to shift you from feeling stuck and stressed and burned out to just slightly better, that it allows you to start taking those small steps. We're not going for big, huge changes here. This doesn't work long term. It's too much for your brain and your nervous system to get on board with. We're just looking for small shifts in our feelings, which are going to make it so much easier to go and do different small things. Because small, consistent changes is where the magic happens. Okay, so the Today method, we're going to tune in. We're going to open to it. We're going to digest it. We're going to adopt some new perspectives. And the why is your daily mental habits. Just like taking care of yourself physically, we need to put fuel in our body that feels good. We need to move it in ways that help it feel good. You got to do the same thing mentally. You got to breathe. You got to feel. You got to listen. You got to accept. You got to talk back daily. You need daily mental habits that help you feel more empowered and less stuck and like the victim. But it takes conscious purpose effort. It doesn't happen when we live life on autopilot. So we got to stop waiting for our autopilot life to change and start your daily mental practice and habits so that you can go and make the change you want to see happen. It comes in small, little ways daily. Again, it's not the big, huge things. Big things are great. They rarely happen. They rarely stick long term. It comes from the small, consistent changes daily. Through these 200 plus episodes, I've shared a lot of different ways to have mental daily habits. But if nothing else, I would just offer you to just talk nicely to yourself today. Every time you go to the bathroom, I want you to just talk to yourself in a way that you're allowing and accepting what is, and just be nice to yourself, if nothing else, and just start there. And notice, how does your mood start to shift and change? Your daily mental habits are things you're going to need to do dozens of times a day. Just like you need to get up and move your body every hour, you need to have your mental habits in place every hour as well. All right, y'all. You're amazing. Go practice this Today method. Let me know how it goes. You got this. We'll talk soon.
Hey, you didn't schedule a coffee chat yet. Remember, that's the next step. There's so much more I can help you with. You're going to leave this coffee chat knowing a few things you can try right now, depending on your specific situation. This is not a sales call. My goal is simply to help however I can. If I do think coaching can help, I can tell you about it, but I'm currently on a wait list for new clients. Click the link in the show notes or go to lindsaylymancoaching.com/chat to get on my calendar. I only offer a few coffee chats a week and it's first come, first serve, so don't wait. Chat with you soon.